Module 5, Outside Help for Drugs and Alcohol. Written by Dr. George Tanis and narrated by Lydia. Greetings, welcome to lifecoachbootcamp.com. Important. Before you study this lesson, please watch this video. Why? Example. If you or your client are in a relationship and the other person displayed an attitude of not being truthful, you need to master and you need to educate your client the following. Confront and level. Assertive communications. As well as I feel good, PST positive self-talk. Make sure to answer the questions at the end and follow the instructions for submission. We all have read, heard, or witnessed the effects of alcohol and drugs on a person, and how they take a huge toll on the diverse aspects of someone's life. Deteriorated relationships, declining financial well-being, ill health, and lost productivity, just to mention a few. In addition, someone who uses drugs or alcohol also loses time, sometimes years, while seeking the high. Drug addicts and alcoholics don't realize they have a problem, but people around them do. Even when these problems are pointed out, they refuse to listen. They choose to live in denial. But when a person tries to stop on their own and realizes that they are powerless in front of drugs and alcohol, they begin to realize they have a problem. When drug addicts or alcoholics finally decide to get help, they can face roadblocks on their way to recovery. One of the biggest obstacles they face is finding someone who can help or where to seek help. Some drug addicts or alcoholics are fortunate enough to get the care and help they need. They have people around them they can trust. But not all alcoholics and drug addicts are that fortunate. Due to tarnished relationships, some find it difficult to talk about their situation with their loved ones, so they fail to seek help. In some cases, people are just afraid of being labeled an alcoholic or an addict. They carry the fear of being exposed and how their families would react toward them. The constant fear of being judged or being labeled keeps them from getting the help they need. The result? Either they continue being sucked in a downward spiral of alcohol or drugs, or they get locked up into the dark world for a very long time. There are two organizations that are helping addicts and alcoholics to get the help they need. These organizations are working hard to make a difference. These are Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. In this article, we'll be looking at how alcoholics and addicts can get help while keeping their identity secret. Alcoholics Anonymous. Alcoholics Anonymous was founded in Akron, Ohio in 1935. It all started when Bill Wilson, a raging alcoholic, got together with Bob Smith, another alcoholic, and discussed all the problems that were associated with drinking, looking for a solution to the problem. In order to tackle the situation head-on, in 1939, with the help of other members, they wrote the book Alcoholics Anonymous. Also known as the Big Book, it is based on 12 steps, which soon gained popular recognition, and eventually led to the growth of Alcoholics Anonymous. The sole purpose of Alcoholics Anonymous is to help and enable members to stay away from alcohol and achieve sobriety. In order to become a member of this fellowship, the only requirement is to have a strong will to stop drinking and stay away from alcohol. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous is so much more than just staying away from alcohol and restraining oneself from indulging in it. The organization aims to transform the thinking patterns of an alcoholic in order to help the person recover. They strive for a complete spiritual awakening or psychic change, which is accomplished via the 12 steps that are written in the Big Book to stay sober. Members are encouraged to volunteer for Alcoholics Anonymous. Narcotics Anonymous. Narcotics Anonymous, just like Alcoholics Anonymous, thrives on the 12 steps and the 12 traditions, which serve as a foundation for the non-profit organization. The only requirement for becoming a member of Narcotics Anonymous is similar to Alcoholics Anonymous. A person must have a strong desire to leave drugs and stay away from them. When it comes to drug addiction, Narcotics Anonymous has an interesting philosophy. They see drug addiction as a disease without a cure, which takes a toll on mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional aspects of a person's life. Whether an addict is addicted to a mild drug or prescription painkillers, Narcotics Anonymous sees all drugs as equal. Even alcohol is considered a drug. The meetings conducted by Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous are very similar. Both organizations conduct open as well as closed meetings. Open meetings are open to all. Anyone having a drug or an alcohol problem can attend the meetings. The meeting formats of Alcoholics Anonymous include speaker meetings, 12-step meetings, and Big Book meetings. In the case of Narcotics Anonymous, the meeting formats include speaker discussion meetings, tag meetings, round robin, common needs, and others. Each meeting has a different component, but only one agenda, and that is to help people stay away from alcohol and stay clean. New members are welcomed with open arms and are considered one of the most important factors of the meeting. Points to keep in mind while attending the meeting. Most people when attending the support groups feel at least some amount of anxiety. They fear that their identity will be revealed and they'll be judged. But the good news is, these things don't happen. These groups are formed by people who have witnessed the darkness of the world of alcoholism and drugs and have chosen a better life. Sharing your stories, listening to others, and trying to relate can help a person see that they are not alone. The people who take part in the meetings are always eager to help. These support groups can help a person combat drug addictions and alcoholism. Have you ever been to a support group? What was your experience and how did it help? Do you still attend meetings to stay sober or clean? The essay. Please write an essay, up to 2 pages, about any support group for drugs and alcohol and your involvement if any. Share your story in the forums. Our advice is for you to seek help if you are addicted to drugs or alcohol. Tell others around you to point out any time in which you didn't. Have them hold you accountable. Visit the forum and do a confession. What is a confession? A confession is when you've displayed a wrong behavior and were held accountable by one of your family members, peers, or even yourself. Visit the forum and tell us about it. We will give you feedback. Make sure to watch the video about confession for more details. Furthermore, become a member of the forum and give feedback to others. Read the article? Time to introspect. Who was the first person to point out that you were becoming addicted to drugs? What was your reaction? When was the first time you acknowledged that you had a problem? What led to the self-realization? Did you choose to keep things inside because you were afraid of being judged? What do you think about support groups? Have you ever joined one? How was your experience? After reading the article, would you say you would like to try support groups? There is no way any relationship will survive without having the qualities mentioned above. Make sure to read each article carefully at least 3 times. Print your workbook and answer all questions. Once you have completed this entire journey, you will be issued a life coach certificate, so long as you've been a member of the forums. Also, follow the instruction for sharing your story in our forums, as well as participating in our forums, especially our unique confessions forum, so you may gain practice, knowledge, experience, and expertise. I am thankful that you have given me this opportunity to share all of this with you. May God bless you and bring prosperity and peace into your life. Respectfully yours, George Tannis, Ph.D.